What's up, Rangers? Welcome back to another episode of All the Country Parks, a show where we visit all the country parks within the UK. Today we're here at Yarrow Country Park, or Yarrow Valley rather. It's very nice. If you're wondering why we're recording this intro from the inside of a car, it's because it's absolutely freezing outside. It's currently New Year's Eve and the temperatures are low. So I'm all wrapped up, nice and cosy. I shall now hand Mike.
Hello. Do you like my new coat? Yarrow Valley Country Park. The main entrance to it is just outside the village of Coppell on the road towards Chorley. You drop down a hill and turn off to the right where you'll find a cafe. The park is owned and run by Chorley Borough Council. Initially in the 1980s, they got a derelict land grant to purchase 700 acres here of former mills, and there was a coal mine as well, and there were quite a lot of derelict buildings alongside the river valley. The Yarrow, of course, runs right through it, but everything had closed by the 1950s and it was just a derelict mess. So there are some odd little bits of remains that you can find here. There's a total of 4 guided walks that you can download from the internet. I think some of them actually roam outside of the park into surrounding farmland, but again, this is one of those where you're not quite sure what the boundaries of the park are, how much is actually owned by the council and how much of the valley is in private hands. But still, it should be lovely to explore, and let's go. Now, the main car park that we're standing on at the moment is on the site of the main mill here, which was built as a cotton mill in 1770 by someone called Edwin Chadwick, but he then sold he sort of leased the mill out to Richard Arkwright, the inventor of the spinning jenny, who made a big success of it, but a bit too successful because it attracted a mob in 1778 who burnt the building down. And you remember, this was actually about 30 years before the more famous Luddites got into action. So that's a very early example of reactionary mill vandalism. Arkwright moved to Cromford in Derbyshire, and Chadwick built the mill back up, and it moved into bleach works, dyeing and printing, and the cafe was built with lottery money in the early 2000s, so it's a bit more recent than the rest of the park. Right, well, we're here in the Treetop Cafe, and it looks quite nice, but unfortunately we've just been told they're not serving food for the time being because they're not sure they have enough in stock to fulfill all the orders they've got. So we're going to have to temporarily leave the park for a time. And what time is it? Let us have a look. 1:45. 1:45, and they stopped serving food. Right, okay, off we go. At the moment, the car park is free because the machines have broken down, but normally you get 3 hours free parking. You only start paying if you want to stay for longer. We're about to look at Birkacre reservoirs, which were originally mill lodges, and apparently there were 3, but they've now been modified into 1. And if you want to go fishing here, you have to join the Wigan and District Anglers Association. should also mention that for the less able-bodied there is a considerable amount of wheelchair access in this country park, which is good to see. So here's the first of the lodges. I think they call this the small lodge, and as you can see there's a nice little walk all the way round. Not expecting to see too much wildlife today. Oh yes, I was reading on the internet that they have had problems recently. One of the lodges was found to have sprung a leak, so they had to do some remedial work. I'm guessing this is where it is. And looks like the swans are not too impressed. So yes, this quite clearly is the main Birkacre Reservoir. Birkacre was actually the name of the mill, and as I said before, these were 3 lodges that were made into one. A reminder there that it's deep enough to drown in normal circumstances. And just off to the left at the bottom of the lodge, I'm guessing this is a bird hide. Yes, this lodge has been allowed to reed up to give a good refuge for wading species. And this is telling you what you can find here. Well, it says lake in autumn and winter. I'm not sure some of these are going to be found in the autumn and winter. Oh, right, so it's split in half, yeah. So, yeah, the amphibians would tend to be in the spring and summer, but you can still find some of these water birds and some of the insect life in here. You're not going to see a water scorpion from the bank though, they live at the bottom of the water. Catch things going by. This, I'm guessing, is the River Yarrow that we've come across here. Fairly sedate when trees aren't falling in it. Right, there's some evidence of iron deposits leaching into the water there. Don't know if they were as a result of industrial workings or that it's just natural. And this, of course, is why all the industry came here, to harness the power of the River Yarrow to turn the water wheels in the mills and the works. And as you can see, they built a weir here to harness the power more effectively. More recently here, though, you've got a fish ladder. This helps migrating species like trout and salmon, who would be hard pressed to get up that, but they find it easier to swim up the ladder. And apparently if you come in October, you're quite likely to see sea trout making those jumps. I think there's a little photo here of such an event. Yeah. Oh, that's a salmon apparently. It's advertising the fact that there's good access for wheelchairs. I'm telling you a bit more about the weir and the fish pass. Okay, When you get to a short distance along the river from the weir, you come to this fence, although there's a path continues to the left of it, and this might mark the boundary of what's actually contained within the country park. And there's a notice here that well, one said somebody's cottage, but it's a bit faded, and as you can see there is no real sign of a cottage going forward, but one could be wrong, could be just round the corner. So we'll head back on a higher path. Yeah, we've come up a stony path from the wall and supposed cottage, and that's I suppose the top end of the woods, and this is part of what's called the Yarrow Valley circular walk, but I think the path is swinging up towards some houses here, so I think we're going to take this more natural path down through the woods and hope it doesn't lead us into a witch's lair. As you can see, we've got a new accessory to our arsenal. We won't be needing to be lying in the grass anymore if this thing works. Right.
Until it veered off.
Yeah.
Well, that would just mean that it's cut some grass.
There is some denser woodland on the far side of the river, which is free to explore, so you know, we haven't time to go in there on this visit, but that leaves you something to explore for yourselves if you come this way. Okay, this area is Yarrow Rocks. This used to be the site of the old bleach works, but now it's been transformed into an adventure playground, mainly for slightly older, more adventurous children and those young at heart. Needless to say, this is the highlight of the visit as far as Simon's concerned.
I'm having the time of my life. No, I'm not 18 years old and too old for this. No, no, I'm not. You are from Americans. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, maybe a subscribe, and a nice comment. I mean, that's beyond. All publicity is good publicity, and it sends us up in the algorithm, and we do a great job of ignoring you. Except for the good comments, obviously, we read yours. Share it with your mates, by the way, if you have any. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.